Good morning, everyone. Right, listen, I've just realized that I forgot my coffee, but look, let's just get into this, okay? Because the Iran war day 3, it does look like America is under attack. There have been multiple shooting stabbings in America. Now Britain is involved in this conflict by letting the United States use now Britain is involved by letting the United States use British air bases now to strike targets in Iran. This does absolutely increase the likelihood of sleeper cells being activated in the United Kingdom. So yesterday, Sunday, what was it? Yesterday, Keir Starmer went on a video to announce a major shift. The United Kingdom has agreed to the United States' request to let American forces use our military bases for what he called specific and limited defensive strikes on Iranian missile sites. We're talking about RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire and a joint base in Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean, which is what you guys may or may not refer to as the Chagos Islands. The Prime Minister was clear. He's learnt lessons from Iraq. The United Kingdom wasn't involved in the initial US-Israeli strikes that took out the Supreme Leader, and we won't join in any offensive action. Now, every time we hear the Prime Minister talk like this, it's because he's under a lot of stress, because he understands that if the Muslim community, and I think this has already happened, he understands that if the Muslim community in the United Kingdom turn against Britain, we are going to have some wild scenes on the streets in the UK. Sorry, guys, I've just got a message through. It could be relevant. So every time you see a defense minister, every time you see a politician, and they're quite clear and open and very firm when they say, Britain was not involved in these strikes. That's because they're appeasing the Muslim community in the United Kingdom who are ready to pop off, guys. These guys are simmering in the community. I keep saying we have got until tomorrow. I would say like today, if you guys need to go out and do anything, I would say it may happen today, but I would say today is your last day of relative safety. I think tomorrow is when you could see initial attack starts happening in the United Kingdom. Now, this is framed as collective self-defense, stopping Iran from firing missiles across the region, killing civilians, endangering lives, and hitting innocent countries. The government even published a summary of its legal advice to back it up. Honestly, like this legal advice, it's really winding me up now. But within hours of the announcement, the optics changed dramatically and dangerously. Overnight, a suspected Iranian Shahed-type drone struck RAF Akateria in Cyprus, our key sovereign base there. It hit around midnight local time, causing minimum damage to the runway. No casualties were reported, but the Ministry of Defense is evacuating families and non-essential staff as a precaution. Sounds a bit gay to me, but whatever. Investigations are underway to confirm the origin, but in the context of Iran's vow of no red lines retaliation, this looks like a direct message. You are in this now. So it looks like Britain's in this war now. Totally gay how we got into it, but you know, whatever. We'll just deal with it, right? Now, this is exactly what I've been talking about, guys, okay? Up until today, literally up until the last few hours, Britain could plausibly deny any involvement in this conflict, monitoring, supporting allies diplomatically, but not actively enabling strikes. Now, with bases, with our bases green-lit for US operations against Iranian targets, the perception has shifted overnight, literally, I would say within the last 6 hours. So in Tehran's eyes, remember, guys, okay, the reality right now, nothing matters. The only thing that matters is winning and losing, right? So right now, it doesn't matter the reality of the situation. It's the perception of that reality. So if the Iranians come out, the supreme leaders, the three of them, whatever they're called, these are three clerics, and they say, Britain is now a fair target, activate proxies against targets in Britain. Guess what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Guess what will happen? Yeah, you know it. So in Tehran's eyes and in the eyes of its proxies, in its IRGC networks and any sleeper cells, and I will come over to, I'll talk about sleeper cells in the United Kingdom in a minute. The United Kingdom are no longer neutral. We are now complicit in what they call aggression against the Islamic Republic. This drastically raises the likelihood of dormant Iranian-linked sleeper cells here in the United Kingdom that they could be activated. And again, it's not just the sleeper cells that you need to be worried about activating. It's the people who go bonkers, stabby, rammy. It's the lone wolves, people with no affiliation, people who just want to go crazy because they've got nothing else with their life. We've known for years that Iran maintains covert networks across Europe, including Britain, often tied to the IRGC, Quds Force, Hezbollah affiliate, or groomed individuals. MI5 has disrupted multiple plots in recent years. This risk now is not abstract anymore. This is exactly what I said would happen verbatim. You guys probably remember on, was it Thursday night? Do you know what? All last week, I was saying to you guys, right, the strikes are probably going to come on the 28th, and they did. And that was a collective on the channel, guys. That was a collective consensus on the channel. We said the strikes were going to come on the 28th. And what we were saying on this channel was, right, when those first strikes go in, have that as your first trigger. Okay, right, things are not normal now because there's no going back. There's absolutely no going back, guys. Okay, this risk is not abstract. We've seen hybrid tactics escalate. We've seen cyber probes, sabotage, disinformation, drones, all sorts of stuff. And I believe that is coming very quickly to the United Kingdom. So let me just refresh this screen and I'll jump onto the chat. Give me a second. Right, and a quick little quick question for everyone, right? This morning when the stock market opened, right? Do you reckon anybody made a ton of money betting that the stock market would short? I don't know. What do you think, guys? Do you think anyone made a ton of money betting that the stock market would short? I would suspect lots of people, or maybe just a few people, but I would say people made a lot of money betting that the stock market, the oil stock market would short. Right. I've just got some updates from the last couple of minutes. People in Gaza rush to stockpile whatever they can amid Iran war crossing closures. Iran views US presence in neighboring countries' offensive platform. You see, this is going to change very soon if once the optics change, when the Iranians then focus on the United Kingdom as well. Iran says Nat's nuclear site hit in US-Israeli airstrikes. They attacked Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities yesterday, where we were peacefully enriching uranium. Right, let me jump onto the chat, and then we'll talk about sleeper cells in the United Kingdom. Right, I'm just going to jump up. Donna is saying France says it's already it's ready to participate in the defense of Gulf countries against Iran. Everybody's going to get dragged into this. Now, everyone's going to get dragged into this. Then the war in Ukraine is going to escalate massively, right? I'm going to focus on Iran. But I just want to throw a quick question out for you guys. What do you think right now? What do you think is going on in the Kremlin? What do you think Putin and his mates are saying? Do you think they're saying, I can't believe it? No, it's not Russian, whatever. Do you think they're in the Kremlin saying, Vladimir, look at all nations getting involved in Middle East. Yes, soon they will have no more assets to send Ukraine. Then we will destroy capitalist pig and free Mother Russia for Soviet state of Mother Russia. So they're gonna go in there at some point, right? As soon as more assets are dedicated to Ukraine, I would say there's going to be a huge escalation, and I mean like a really big one, because we know the Russians are building up their military supplies. We know they've got the capacity now. Also, when we're talking about capacity, a lot of the tactics and the know-how on how to defeat Western air defense, that will be passed from, I would speculate. Does anyone think this has not been passed? I would say that those allies are sharing information. It's quite industry standard. And once those allies are sharing information, they'll be sharing information on how to defeat air defense systems. So that's what I think is coming as well. Right, let me jump down. Mandelson, he's just stopped Mina Group. He's just saying Mandelson. I don't know what that means. Emery's saying this is it. World War III will definitely happen for now. I believe it's been going on for a lot longer, though, personally. Yeah. I don't think there's any going back after this. Yeah, a drone, so a Shahed-type drone allegedly hit the airbase at RAF Akateria, which is on the southern tip of Cyprus. Guys, I'm literally just jumping down. I do... British interests are being attacked by this Iranian regime, and British citizens are at risk. We cannot simply stand by and ignore that. You see, we have listen, who's seeing a mass influx of, Iranian migrants coming to the United Kingdom now as refugees? I'm definitely seeing that, right? I'm seeing that. Anyway, we don't have the capacity to mass lift people out of countries anymore. We don't have that. Years and years of selling our military has left us absolutely emasculated. We don't have the naval capacity to do we don't have the naval capacity to do a mass evacuation. Right, listen, guys, let me talk about sleeper cells, okay? So I will be giving you guys updates on Iran, but everybody needs to understand how bad the situation is here in the United Kingdom with sleeper cells. Yesterday on the live stream, somebody was saying, yeah, Sean, think about the Israelis. They're surrounded. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that the Israelis are surrounded. The Israelis have unity with most people in Israel being of the same, the same ideology. The Israelis have a strong military and a government that are willing to use force, right? So here in the United Kingdom, we have none of those things, and we are not surrounded by enemies. I would say we are infiltrated by people who don't share our cultural heritage, and maybe share the cultural heritage of, another country that we may or may not be at war with very soon. Anyway, so I want to give everyone just like an overview of alleged what I can get from this is from mainstream media, right? This is what I'm giving you now. It's nothing, this is no inside information. This is from mainstream media. So there's been lots of reports and intelligence assessments from the UK Security Service that you guys can find online. Media outlets and expert analysis on the TV about growing concern about, and this was before this conflict, right? This is going back like years. So people have been screaming out about the threat from Iranian-backed networks covertly operated in Britain. These are often described as sleeper cells, which would be, individuals or small groups of individuals operating normal lives, but ready to be activated for whatever that attack is. Sabotage, espionage, anything basically, an attack on the orders of Iran or the IRGC. Much of this information that I'm going to share with you guys will be stemming from thwarted plots, because obviously we don't know what's being plotting at the moment, and we don't know the active terror cells because we only know about the ones we found, right? So there have been public warnings by MI5 and counterterrorism officials for years. However, concrete details are limited because they are classified. So I can only tell you guys what I'm getting from the from the mainstream. So they do. First of all, there's the online grooming tactics. So you can get these people, show them propaganda online, and you slowly build a rapport with these people using social media, internet to recruit men of, whatever origin that are living or they live and they've been born in the United Kingdom. These individuals are groomed to form an informal network of sleeper cells, or these are often like the lone wolf. These are like the lone wolf operatives that absolutely have deniability. Very difficult to it's very difficult to pin a lone wolf attack on a network, on a terror group, on foreign influence. It's very difficult. You've also got proxy networks, and Iran relies heavily on surrogates like Hezbollah, Hezbollah, Hamas, to carry out their work in foreign countries. Now, it doesn't really matter what these networks are called or where they're from, because the outcome is going to be the same. You also have recruits or operatives that may have arrived illegally or legally into the United Kingdom and have been here for years. Now, this is one of the things that I've not heard anyone talk about, right? Imagine imagine in these migrant camps. Imagine if people go there and you find somebody and you say to them, "Hello, mate. Are you wanting to get over to the United Kingdom?" And if he says, "Yes, I am actually." And if the other guy says, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll pay you to get over on that boat. And when you get to the other side, can you go and see this guy? Can you go and do this at this time? If this happens, make sure you do this." And this is how you recruit those networks and then infiltrate those networks into Britain. So I'm going to ask you guys a question right now. Do you think there's any way? Listen, guys, this is a serious question. I don't know the answer. I definitely don't know the answer. Do you think there's a way that, I don't know, Middle Eastern men of fighting age could slip into the United Kingdom undetected? Do you guys think there's any way that could happen? I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Is there any facility for them to be put up in hotels and be given 3 meals a day? I don't know, guys. Is that a thing? Do you think men of Middle Eastern descent could infiltrate the United Kingdom without passports or without knowing who they are? Yeah. So now you understand. So now we all understand when the Prime Minister and when leading officials come on the TV and they say, "Britain is not involved in these strikes. Britain is not involved in these strikes." Very clear, very firm, very pronounced, and they will not deviate from that statement. That's because they understand what a state we're in. Now, I'm just going to read the thwarted plots and arrests. Obviously, we only know who's been arrested. So since 2022, 20 plus lethal plots have been foiled. MI5 Director General Ken McCallum revealed over 20 potentially deadly Iran-backed plots have been thwarted in the United Kingdom. That's what he said, not me. I'm not saying that, right? So 20 since 2022. In 2023, there was a hostile reconnaissance conviction. 2024, there was an Iranian international journalist was stabbed outside his London home. May 2025, major arrests. The British police arrested 8 suspects, mostly Iranian, in counter-terrorism operations, 5 for plotting a terror attack, possibly on a synagogue or Jewish targets, thwarted hours before execution, and 3 were arrested on espionage. And September 2025, and I remember I did a video on this. There was a high level, the media highlighted the IRGC's online efforts to build sleeper cell networks, prompting the United Kingdom to counter these threats. So these things have been all over the news for a long time. All the information's out there. The threat of sleeper cells operating and living in the United Kingdom. It's not just real, ladies and gentlemen. It's real, it's present, and it's clear for everyone. Right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, guys, if you guys are... Hang on. Right, Donna is... Yeah, so Donna is saying... Yeah, I told you we'd got until Tuesday, guys. Right, Donna, where are you getting that from, Donna? Turkey hit Iranian missile hit British base. Right, I'm not getting that anywhere, Donna. Right, Turkey hit Iranian missile hits British base. Yeah, I can't find that anywhere, Donna. But look, what we are understanding now is the Britain's been involved, right? Britain's involvement, and it's not come easy. It's come slow, but we are at that situation. Donna is running on the spot, running spot on. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I can't find that anywhere. Guys, if somebody can tell me who's reporting on this, who's reporting on this? Right, let me just search something different. Right, okay, so I've got this from 4 minutes ago. Turkey is denying it. So, okay, so right now there are conflicting reports, okay? Turkey denies reports US base was hit on its territory, was hit by Iran. Okay, so it might be hit by someone else. Turkey's Directorate of Communication puts out a statement denying reports that a US base in Turkey was struck by an Iranian missile. There's been no attack against our country, says Turkey. Posts seeking to portray Turkey as a party to regional conflict constitute a clear act of disinformation. So this is from what the Turkish are saying. Posts showing footage of an ostensible blast at Turkey's Inkirli airbase have been circulating on some news accounts across social media. The clip is actually from Syria. Turkey is one of the few US allies near Iran that hasn't been hit since the start. US has over 1,000 US personnel in at that airbase and other NATO countries in smaller countries. I think what this highlights is the emergence of artificial intelligence, right? The emergence of AI and these images. Like, we don't really know what's happening. Yeah, we spoke about this earlier. So the base in so RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, they're confirming that they've been hit by a Shahed type drone. Again, it's a little bit gay. The Shaheeds are not, well, they are. Well, it depends. Okay, so the Shahed type drone, there's lots of them. There's like Shahed and then some numbers. So they come in all different sizes. I don't know which type hit the base at Cyprus, but what we understand is, what everybody needs to understand now is it's not going to matter. It will not, the truth right now doesn't matter. The truth doesn't matter, right? What matters is the perception, right? And we are having right now governments trying to scramble. We're having governments trying to scramble to keep control of the narrative, especially in the United Kingdom, because people are terrified, okay? The government will be absolutely terrified of this. Drones again! Empire strikes back with drones. You know, the more I think about it, the more I think I'd be on the side of the Empire. I do, honestly. The more I think about it, the more I feel I'd be on the side of the Empire. I mean, they get sweet uniforms, right? They get sweet uniforms. They get sweet ships. And, like, what do the Jedi get? I mean, the Jedi are total badass and cool, but they don't get much cool stuff. Tony is saying oil price got up 25 cents. Listen, and I'll say this again. I say this right at the beginning. Do you think that anybody made a shit ton of money shorting the oil market on Friday before the stock market closed? Does anybody think that anybody made a shit ton of money? Right, let me just refresh this, guys. There's just, honestly, it's hard to keep up. So there's been an intercept over the United Arab Emirates. No injuries were reported. UKMTO, I don't know what that means. Marine Transport Authority or something, operations, I don't know. Oh, Marine Trade Operations says vessel in Bahrain port struck by projectiles. Everything's getting attacked. So we've spoken to an analyst, Rob Geist Pinfold, about Iran's drone attacks and the Gulf countries' attempts to intercept them. The Shaheeds are very, very cheap. Guys, honestly, 2022, I proposed an airborne interceptor. Basically, an aerobatics plane with a 7.62 machine gun on it. I said, listen, it's not feasible to send up 200 grand missiles to take out a 10 grand drone. You can't keep doing that. Nobody listened. And now people are actually understanding it, saying it takes something exponentially more expensive to intercept them than it is to actually build and operate them. They are, by nature, a word I can't say or I get the live stream done, drones that, like, they don't come back. That just winds me up, guys. That just absolutely winds me up. Israeli army says that it's identified more missiles on their way, incoming missiles from Iran. Defense systems are working to intercept the threat. So this is from 8 minutes ago. I think 8 minutes ago, more missiles were launched from Iran to Israel. Etihad have announced flights to and from Abu Dhabi are suspended into, yeah, that's still going to be it. Yeah, they're not going to start those flights tomorrow, guys. Trust me. Yeah, there's going to be no flights in and out of Abu Dhabi tomorrow. Not a chance. Right, let me just make sure there's no more updates. Yeah. Gunner's mate is saying we are buying 40-gallon drums filled full of fuel. Next 2 days gonna go skyrocket. I think so as well. I think it's gonna go absolutely crackers. Oh no! Right, give me a second. I thought we had I thought we would have had until tomorrow. I can't find where this this is not on the mainstream yet. So I don't know if it's true. I'm not doubting it. I just have to be very clear. So David O'Rourke is saying, Glasgow update, locals say a number of people may have been stabbed with an emergency response in place since 9 a.m. So look, right now, I did think we had. Let me try Glasgow emergency response. So right now, I did think we had until tomorrow before these things started. However, that may be not the case. That may not be the case. Things may have started already. And Donna is saying it's been reported on Sky News, been reporting online Sky News Glasgow. Right, okay, so it does look like there's an incident happening in Glasgow. And the incident is in Edinburgh, according to the Mirror. Well, listen, there may be two incidents here. Let's not, there may actually be two incidents. There may be one in Glasgow and one in Edinburgh. Donna's saying War Monitor. Oh, breaking news, security threat has been declared at RAF Akrotiri. Right, listen, guys, for those of you who don't know the significance of RAF Akrotiri, I'll get this up on the map now. Give me a second. Maps. Hang on, let me... What? Before I continue... Right, so I'm just going to share this with you guys. I don't like using this map because the other map I use, the Ukraine map, I can draw on it and give you guys real-time infographics, but the Ukraine map doesn't go down here anyway. So for those of you guys who don't know, RAF Akrotiri is right here on the southern tip of Cyprus. Now, if you look at the graphics, it's not the demographics, the geography here, you've got Iran, which would be to the right of the screen, or the east in old money. You've got Iraq in the middle, and you've got Syria, you've got Lebanon, you've got Israel, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. Now, the proximity from right down here on this tip, somewhere there it is. Look, can you guys make that out? So that's RAF Akrotiri there, right there. And in reality, this whole southern tip, that is RAF Akrotiri. The whole southern tip, the whole thing is, by de facto, they use the whole thing. However, that's the airbase, and it is pretty big, guys. It is. It's a huge airbase. In fact, it's massive. Now, the significance of RAF Akrotiri in that region is not just the ability to launch and land and refuel planes, it's the ability to launch, land, refuel, billet, administer, feed, and arm soldiers. So if there needs to be a deployment of, say, US military into the Middle East, they can forward mount to RAF Akrotiri, get on C-17s, and then jump into, parachute into wherever. Now, that is like 400 miles from the coast of, that's 400 miles from the coast of Israel. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Oh, but Sean, how have the Iranians all the way over here managed, let me make this a bit bigger. How have the Iranians all the way over here managed to strike Cyprus with a drone? Well, guess what? They probably not. Probably came from Hezbollah in Lebanon, because that distance is a lot closer. So if you guys can, and is that Tartus? Is that? In fact, there is the Russian there in Tartus. I think Tartus there in Syria. That is where the old Russian. That's where the old Russian that's where the old Russian naval base was. So I'm thinking, with that proximity, Maybe the Russians listen, and this is just me wildly speculating now. That's just me absolutely wild. This is just me wildly speculating. It more than likely came from Lebanon. But Tartus, that's where the old Russian air base is. And I would speculate that they still have Russians there because they're Russian. And with those Russians, you would expect them to have a load of drones. I don't know. Maybe they just said, right, we're going to bring some drones over the border into Lebanon and you guys fire them. But I think any drone strikes that hit Cyprus, hit RAF Akateria on that southern tip, will have come from Lebanon. They just don't have they don't have the capacity to fly over so many countries without being intercepted. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there for some so you guys understand the significance of RAF Akateria. You guys know where it is when people are talking about it. Right. Okay, so the Danny Stonehouse is saying, "Aren't you on X, Sean?" I am on X, yes, but I'm not streaming on X now. No, I only stream on YouTube. Right, okay. Let me search this. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, okay. Right, okay. Armed police swarm Edinburgh. Thanks for that, guys. Thank you. So armed police respond to reports of a man with a bladed weapon in police firearms officers have responded to reports of a man with a weapon in Edinburgh. The public is being advised to avoid the Calders area of the city following reports of a man with a bladed weapon. And that's all we're getting at the moment. I thought we had until tomorrow. I did. I thought we had until tomorrow, guys. I still think we haven't. I still think the main things are going to start tomorrow. Yeah, Colders, guys. It's in. There's been a incident in Colders. A man. Let me see what's on X. Let me have a look what's on X. Normally, X gets the information a little bit more better. Oh, right, there we are. Sky News have taken the comments off the chat. Right, Sky News 21 minutes ago, breaking news. Public told to avoid Calders in Edinburgh as armed police respond to a man with a bladed weapon. Right, I'm just looking at this now. I'm just going through X because normally people put pictures on. Oh, I've got the pictures. I can't even share the pictures with you. Can I share the pictures? Right, I'm not going to share the pictures with you because... Okay, I don't know if this is real. How do I get around this, guys? Okay, the man looks like you would expect him to look, and he's got one of the sharp pointy things in both hands. He's wearing camouflage, well, like, you know, those like civilian, like fashion camouflage bottoms. He's wearing a white jacket. He's got his face covered. He's got like a thing, like a hood. Sorry, it's a hood. It's a hood. When is enough enough? Do we tackle the problem instead of ignoring it? Oh, and reports are that a woman has been attacked outside a nursery. So that's what they're reporting on the chat, guys. I don't know if that's correct. I need to be clear, but people are reporting that a woman has been attacked outside a nursery. That's what they're reporting. I'm just scrolling. I can't share this with you because I don't want to get I don't want to get like the video banned or taken down because if it's not real. Right. I've got a video of him walking around here. Right, I am gonna share this with you guys. I am gonna share it with you. Right. What I'm gonna say before I share this is non-confirmed, but I've seen this from several hang on. Okay, so I'm gonna share this. I don't know what's happening. I've seen this same image now shared on several. Yeah, there's several places are sharing this. So I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share this video with you guys. Now, I need to be clear. I don't know if this video is legit. So, but this is the video that's circling on. This is the video that's circling on X. So I want to be clear, guys, and I want to be clear again. I don't know if this video is legit, but this is the video that's being shared by several channels on X, and they are claiming that this is the incident in Calder in Edinburgh. We don't have to live like this. And you understand now, right? You understand why the government, like you can see it in the government's face now, can't you? You know, when Keir Starmer's on the news and when you see when you see one of these politicians now on the news and they say this, Britain is not involved in these attacks because they've been briefed by MI5 or MI6 or special branch. And, they've said, listen, Keir, mate, we're fucked. Like, we are infiltrated now. At some point, all it's going to take is a little spark, and these guys are going to kick off. And this is and let me be quite clear: the problems that we're seeing right now are self-inflicted by our own government. They sold out for cheap votes. They sold out to liberalism. They sold out to wokeism. And do you know what, guys? I'm actually grateful that this is happening now rather than another 5 or 6 years. I think it needs to happen now. And, the reason I'm saying that is because if things, it's better for things to happen sooner rather than later, right? I think if we wait another few years, another few elections, more legal, more of the government becomes entrenched in free votes. That guy, Zach Polanski? We love Zach Polanski. He's a great guy, Zach Polanski. I think he was a magician, wasn't he? Isn't he a magician or something by trade? No, I'm not making it up, ladies and gentlemen. The leader of I think, somebody fact check me on that, guys. Is Zach Polanski a I don't know if Zach Polanski is a anyway, whatever. So what do you think is going to happen to Zach Polanski, if there is a takeover of Britain? What do you think they're going to do to him? I could tell you what they'd do to him exactly, but I'd get the video banned. Right, I'm jumping down, guys. Lots of comments, but Britain is now... Oh, hang on. I will, Donna, I will. Right. Sean, someone been... Oh, right, okay. Oh, no, right, okay. Hang on a minute. What's going on in the chat? Who's got the beef? Right, I can't find these comments. Right, I don't know who's right. Guys, listen, in the chat, right? Can we all just be polite? I know people have got diverse opinions, and I absolutely welcome that. I absolutely welcome that. Can we just all be polite and courteous? And if you disagree with somebody, right, don't be rude, don't be nasty. Just articulate it in a polite manner. Absolutely. Just, articulate it in a polite manner. So sorry, guys. Sometimes I just don't see these questions in the chat. Hang on. Somebody put something there about a school. Right. Somebody just put in the chat about this incident being outside a school. Right. I can't find it. Oh. Right. Not that one. Right. There we are. So Darren TG is saying multiple have been stabbed and he was at a school. Is that right? Honestly, like, why do... Can you guys remember when I think it was it Basil? Is it Basil the Great? There's a channel on X. I think it's Basil the Great. Is it Basil the Great? Anyway, he put on that chat that he's had intelligence come in that people are planning full-scale attacks at schools and they want to attack children. Can you guys remember that? Ah, yeah, so Zach Polanski is a hypnotist, isn't he? He's an hypnotist. So we've got Zach Polanski. I thought he was a magician. You know what? Maybe a hypnotist better. It was a nursery. Jesus Christ. Is that where we're going now? Is that how brave these people are? Is this the bravery that these people are showing? This is not going to end well, guys. It's not going to end well. Jesus Christ. Right, okay. So it is official, guys. Yeah, it is official. It was at a school. It was at a school. Oh, God. Yeah, was at a school. Now, this is the problem, right? This is the problem. Here in the United Kingdom, we do not have a Second Amendment, right? We do not have the rights to protect ourselves. The only people who have weapons in the United Kingdom are criminals, right? So we need to people. I don't want. Right, I'm not going to say that because I still go away with it. Are we going crazy right now? Is this real? This done? Are we saying there's another incident in Manchester right now? Guys, right. Manchester, let me search this. Manchester gun scare. Jesus Christ, 25 minutes ago. No, you're right. You're right. So there's been a Manchester middle school gun scare prompts district to Manchester High School on... Oh, no, hang on a minute. 54 minutes ago. Right, let me throw this out. Oh, I don't think this is in the UK. Right, I don't think this is in the UK. Right, okay, so I think this Manchester middle school gun scare prompts district to explore new security measures. Is that in the United States? Or are we talking about Manchester in the UK? Yeah, I think that's in the United States, Donna. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are joining for the first time, and if you've not done so already, guys, please make sure you hit those buttons below. I don't bullshit you about what's happening now. I tell you guys about what's coming next. So if you live in the United Kingdom right now, the optics of this conflict in the Middle East is, it absolutely is, ladies and gentlemen, that Britain is now involved. Now, the reality of that is, the United Kingdom has agreed to let the United States use British air bases for carrying out strikes on Iranian missile sites. Now, we're talking about the Fairford in Gloucestershire and Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. And for those of you guys who don't know, that is in the Chagos Islands. Now, the Prime Minister yesterday was very clear He's learned lessons from Iraq. Let's be clear, guys. He hasn't learned any lessons from Iraq. I learned the lessons from Iraq. He was there. And you know what, guys? Listen, I don't want to go into this right now. Keir Starmer volunteered to prosecute British soldiers in Iraq for free for crimes that they did not do. I'm not making that up. Go check it out. There was 3 of them. Keir Starmer, Lord Hermer, who's now in charge of the legal system, and another guy who's been struck off for making these false allegations. So Starmer, Hermer, and this other guy, I forget his name, who's been struck off, well, I need to be clear, okay? There's no evidence that Keir Starmer fabricated anything, and there's no evidence that the other guy, that Lord Hermer fabricated anything. Everything's been pinned onto this one guy, and he's been struck off, right? So what they did is they fabricated evidence against British soldiers, and guess what? Keir Starmer worked to prosecute British soldiers for war crimes that they didn't commit in Iraq, and he did it for free. So when Keir Starmer comes out and he says, I've learned lessons from Iraq. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, you've probably learned like a lot of lessons from Iraq, tactical, strategic. They're not the lessons you've learned. However, Keir Starmer was also very clear, and he says that the United Kingdom was not involved in the US-Israeli strikes that took out the supreme leader, and we won't join any offensive action. This is framed as collective self-defense, stopping Iran from firing missiles across the region, killing civilians, endangering British civilians, British lives, and hitting innocent countries. The government, this is so gay, guys. This is so gay. The government has even published a summary of its legal advice to back it up. Right. Nobody cares about these little bits of paper, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, nobody cares about your little bits of paper. People care about tanks. They care about ships. They care about bombs. They care about steel. Britain, are you coming to help the fight? Yes, we're coming. Right, what have you brought? I brought the whole Appendix C of international law. Yeah, what are you going to do with that, mate? I don't know. It's ridiculous. However, sorry, guys. So Britain is involved now, guys. But however, within hours of that announcement, the optics changed dramatically and dangerously. Overnight, and I think this has been confirmed now, a Shahed-type drone struck RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus. That southern tip, I just shared it with you guys. This is a key sovereign base. It hit around midnight last night, causing minimum damage. However, this is why I'm speaking to you guys now, because Britain is involved, and the optics of Britain's involvement now is that we are going to be fair game now to the Islamic Republic when they pull the pins. They've already said, the Islamic Republic, that Muslims need to rise up everywhere and fight. And guess what? What do you think is going to happen in the United Kingdom? So every time now you see a politician say, Britain is not involved in these strikes, Britain is not involved, it's 100% appeasement. Because behind the scenes, they've probably been briefed by MI5, MI6, GCHQ, Special Branch, and they've said, listen, Keir, mate, like we've been telling you for years, right? Stop canvassing these cheap votes, right? You know, we need real action. We need more funding. We need more money for the military. And you've been cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. So now we're at a stage where, you know, you're asking us to do the impossible, and we don't have the resources because you've taken them off us. Because, you know, we have to fund migrant hotels and stuff. It's just sad. It's just sad. It really is sad, guys. So what's happening right now with Britain's involvement, and we may be seeing it now, drastically raises the likelihood of the dormant sleeper cells here in the United Kingdom being activated. Yeah, I saw this. So Lisa Jane is saying, Sky News Politics latest, refugee protection to become temporary. Doesn't matter. None of this stuff matters, guys. None of this stuff matters. If we can't stop the boats, if we can't stop the boats, none of it matters. Whoa, that is huge. So Donna is saying I thought we had until tomorrow. So if the IRGC are now actively attacking Britain, that means that Britain is now fair game as per the let me get let me try and find this. Give me a second. Let me just, sorry guys, I need to Google this because I don't want to get misquoted on this. What? Fuck. Just had a capture on. What? Right, I know I talked about it yesterday, but I can't find the article now. Oh, no, he didn't say that, did he? He says it's a war on Muslims. There we are. Yeah. So I'll share this with you guys now. So this was the article I was talking about earlier on. I just needed to find it, guys, because I didn't want to get misquoted. So it wasn't the IRGC. It was the president. So declaration of war against Muslims. Iran's president's big claim after Khamenei's death. I'm going to turn that off before the ads get on. So the Iranian president has now said that this is a war against Muslims. Now, I don't think it is, right? However, if that is the perception throughout the Muslim world, then where do you think that's gonna lead? So the president said yesterday on Sunday that the killing of the supreme leader in the US-Israeli airstrikes was a declaration of war against Muslims. He also said that avenging the killing of the supreme leader was the right and obligation of the Islamic Republic. So look, I don't need to spell this out any further to you guys. We can see the direction of travel that we're in right now in the United Kingdom. It's either going to, we're having these lone wolves, these single attacks. And now, as Donna's reporting there, the IRGC media is saying ballistic missiles have been fired at RAF Akateri. I think they'll get intercepted. They have to go over a lot of countries. Ballistic missiles. Right. Okay. I thought you meant hypersonic. Right. Okay. So for those of you guys who don't know, ballistic missiles go right up into space and then they come down. So ballistic missiles are very hard to intercept. Now, if the IRGC are attacking Britain, then guess what? Guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess who else is going to be attacking Britain? Right, listen, guys, I'm literally just going to jump down to the bottom. it's crackers. It's crackers. It's crackers, guys. I do still think the big things are going to hit the ground in the United Kingdom tomorrow. So if you can get out now, guys, right? Be careful. Don't go to crowded places. If you can get out now, don't go to crowded places. Get what you can, and try and lower your profile at least for the next 7 days. Silly Galadi in Israel is having alarms. They're having alarms in Israel. Right, let me just update this, guys, because there may be these. Right, so from, hang on, let me refresh. Right, from a couple of minutes ago, Qatar says Iranian drones are hitting their energy infrastructure. Chevron says instructed by Israel to shut Leviathan. Oh, Chevron gas, right, okay. To shut Leviathan gas fields. So gas fields are being closed in the Middle East. At least one killed as oil tanker attacked off the Omani coast. Sirens sound at UK's airbase. Sirens have gone off at Britain's RAF Ekateri airbase shortly after midday, hours after it was hit by a drone. A live broadcast said aircraft took off from the facility close to the southern. The UK's decision to allow US to use air bases is a major shift. Overnight, the UK decided to allow the US to use UK air bases following an incident in which an Iranian drone crashed into RAF Ekateri. Previously, we've talked about that. Jordan's announcing the close of their airspace. Yeah. Listen, you know all those people, right, who are saying, oh, this is going to be over in a couple of hours. It's going to be over in a day or two. It's not. It's not. The world is changing now. It started. Those things I've been warning about for such a long time. Back in 2023, I was saying, March 2026, Trump's going to go into Iran. Oh, Sean, Trump's not even the president. Biden's the president, and Trump's not even polling well. Okay, let's see what happens. Closer to the date, March. We actually brought that back one day, didn't we? We said, right, okay, February the 28th is when I think those airstrikes are going to go in. Those airstrikes went in. I also said to you guys on previous videos, literally go and watch them last week, as we were getting closer and closer. If I do it before, nobody's going to listen, right? As we were getting closer and closer towards the 28th, I kept putting videos out and saying, listen, ladies and gentlemen, right? When those first airstrikes go in, that's your first trigger. That should be your first trigger. If you've never gone out and stockpiled anything, when you see those first airstrikes go into Iran, maybe that's your time to go out and just buy water. Or maybe even think about it. You know, everybody's going to be in different situations, right? Everybody's going to be in a different life phase. Now, it does look like Britain, the optics, right? The optics of Britain being involved is undeniable now. The IRGC, as we've just heard from the chat, it looks like the IRGC are firing ballistic. Let me try and Google this, guys. Give me a second. I can't find that on the mainstream, but I'm sure it's there. Whether it is or it isn't, Britain is the optics now, as far as the Iranians are concerned, is that Britain is involved. So that means if British targets overseas can be struck, all those people who are, you know, loyal to the IRGC, loyal to... Have you guys seen the picture of the Ayatollah that they... Silly Gallardi sent me this picture earlier, and I didn't know what... Like, I saw this on X, and I didn't know if it was like just something somebody had put together with AI, but there's a picture that, you know, I think it's credible, of the supreme leader, and he sat there surrounded by 72 kids, young girls. I'm just going to leave it there. It's quite sick. It's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, because everybody has human rights and everybody's equal when they come to the United Kingdom. Yeah, so we have a massive problem in the United Kingdom with sleeper cells. Now, these are the ones that we know. MI5 have been warning about this. There's been lots of reports written on it. Sleeper cells that could be activated for espionage or whatever, sabotage or worse. So before I close this down, I'm going to close this down in a minute. I'm going to ask you guys a question, all right? Do you think that there is any way that men of Middle Eastern descent who may or may not be allied to the Islamic Republican Guard Corps may be able to get into the United Kingdom without showing a passport? Do you think there's any way that they could enter into the United Kingdom without us knowing who they are? I don't know. Maybe there is. Do you think maybe they've been parachuted in? Maybe they've got like gliders and they're coming in from space. Maybe they go up in like rockets and then they like come down on like parachutes and like land and then they infiltrate. Can you imagine what the networks are like behind the scenes and how much they're laughing? Hang on, there's been an update. From 2 minutes ago, several explosions have been heard over Tehran, state media reports. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. I think the main crux of this, I know the main crux of this will be America is under attack. There have been multiple attacks in America over the last 24 hours. Britain is involved now. That looks like the reality. There's been this incident in Calder in Edinburgh. Now, from report, in fact, hang on, reports. Hang on, let me give. Actually, sorry guys, I'm not going to go. Let me give you the. Because this came out on the mainstream, right? Yeah, that definitely is the right place, right? Okay. I'm going to confirm this now, guys. I'm going to confirm this because of that bus stop there and the rendering. You guys can't see, right? Let me share this, right? Let me confirm this, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I'm going to confirm this video myself. So I am fact checking this. Okay, this is the image. Breaking: armed police lock down Edinburgh school after knifeman goes on stabbing spree. That's what it's saying there. Right? So I'm okay. This is being reported now by the mainstream media. This was like a couple of minutes ago. Is that okay? Right. Now, what I want you guys to do is look at the rendering. Look at that bus stop. And look at the rendering of that. Look at the rendering of those buildings to the top of the image. Right. I'm going to share with you guys now this. I'm going to share with you guys now the video of that I shared with you guys earlier of this guy. This guy with. Well, I'll share with you guys the video. Right. Earlier on I didn't want to share that because earlier on I didn't want to share the video because I didn't know its authenticity. However, I'm just looking at it now and I'm pretty sure you can see that bus stop as well. Yeah. Right. I'm confident. I am confident that this is legit. Right. So let me share this with you. So This is the video. So if you guys look at that, look at the rendering on the buildings in the background. There's right, and then yeah, you'll be able to do this yourselves. So I do believe that this video is legitimate. Sorry, let me just look back here. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that they're the same buildings on, yeah. So I feel they're the same buildings there on the north. Sorry, it's not, I don't know what aspect it is on the at the top of that image as those there. So I do think that video's, yeah. So I do think this video's credible. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Britain. Welcome to Britain. Armed police lock down Edinburgh school after knifeman goes on stabbing spree. A number of people have reportedly been stabbed in the Calder area in the west of the city, with armed police currently at the scene. The area is beside Westerhales High School, which is also understood to be on lockdown. Police Scotland said the public is being advised to avoid the area. William Ramsey, who lives in the area, said he believed the man with the weapons had entered the stairwell of his building. He told the press association he smashed the local shop, possibly 2 people, which is unconfirmed. Police dogs are here for about an hour. Listen, guys, are we allowed police dogs? Because I know certain cultures don't like dogs, so maybe we're not allowed police dogs anymore. I love dogs. I do. I love dogs, guys. Big dogs. I like big dogs, like really big ones. Images show armed police and emergency vehicles at a high-rise block of flats where the incident is taking place. So yeah, so it looks like we've had a stabby in. Looks like we've had a stabby in. Go on, in Edinburgh. It's going to come out. A Scottish man. Just like here is RSA, the only brave enough to attack grandparents, women, and children. Very different story when they face with a man. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And one of the things that really frustrates me from my time in the Middle East, my time in, Africa, in Ukraine, it's a very weak type of man that, it's a weak type of like, yes, we will send our special forces in. And what are they going to do? Oh, we're going to attack a nursery. Yeah, well done on that, mate. I mean, are you proud of that? Like, are you proud? Like, do you think they're proud of this? Honestly, like, it winds me up so much. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down. I am, but don't worry, I'll be back on shortly. I'll be doing updates throughout the day. Breed more dogs, a pack of Malinois in each home. Oh, you've sent you guys, Rocky Mountain Bear. You've just put the hairs on the back of my arms. I do. I think everybody, a pack of Malinois in. Like, you should just have Malinois, like, patrolling. Get rid of the police, right? Right. Here's an idea, right? Get rid of the police and just have packs of dogs patrolling the streets. The streets would be safer, right? Right, listen, yeah, sorry guys. I am going to close this down. You guys are fantastic. If you're on and you've not done so already, guys, please hit that. Please hit those buttons down below, guys. The like, comment, subscribe, bell notification, all those things that really help me out. I will be back on shortly. I will, because this situation is developing quickly. The war is clearly it's not de-escalating. This is not limited military strikes. This is a full-scale conflict, and it's looking like it's dragging more regional partners into that conflict. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll bid you good morning. I'll be back on shortly.